You know, you would think that there'd be some things in this world that you could rely on, some things that you could depend upon, some things that just are what they are. But we're running out of those things very, very quickly because nothing is what it seems to be. Everything is the entrance to a rabbit hole. It's deeper, it's wider, and rabbit holes lead to rabbit holes, which lead to rabbit holes, which lead to more rabbit holes. But that's what we do. We're the kind of people that digs them out, searches them out, and something tells me we'll never run out of fun stuff to talk about. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here we go talking about that 1,000 years being added to our history. I'm now convinced enough to be able to come out and officially say, yes, there has been 1,000 years added to history because now not only can I tell you when it happened, I can tell you who did it, and I can tell you why. So 1,000 years added to history. Who, when, where, and why. Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, ready to bring you some revelation, help you guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru, remind you you're divine, sovereign, and free. We're the last generation of real humans, and it's time for us to get busy. So, folks, if you didn't catch the show earlier today with, I'm going to get the name right, Matt Long, with Matt Long from Woketown, you need to check that one out. It was a great show. It was even better because I got dropped for about half of it. So you got to have Matt Long without me. So that made it even more enjoyable. We talked about the creation of NASA, talked about Antarctica, talked about Nigel's favorite subject a little bit, flat Earth. Talked about the spinning ball. Is it spinning? Is it have been? I bought two of Fomenko's books. I have version one or volume one and volume 1 and 4, I think. And I'll be filling in all 7. Not easy reads. Fomenko's work is dense, to say the very, very least, but it's good stuff. It's interesting stuff, and I am deep into it, ladies and gentlemen. Here to do you service, men and women, boys and girls, children of all ages. So let's take a look at what we have found out. Let's take a look at what we're looking at. Let's take a look at what we're thinking about. And folks, do you know that the calendar that we use right now, the calendar that is used in most of the world, is called the Gregorian calendar? Did you know why it's called the Gregorian calendar? Well, I guess I knew, but I didn't really know, hadn't really thought it through. It wasn't really in top of mind recognition to me. But the Gregorian calendar is called the Gregorian calendar, ladies and gentlemen, because it was created in this. I mean, you talk about truth is stranger than fiction department. The Gregorian calendar is called the Gregorian calendar because the calendar, folks, we're talking about the calendar, right? The calendar was actually created by this guy, Pope Gregory. He's not a great looking guy, but I'll give you a bigger look at him. Pope Gregory. So the calendar that we follow today was created by this guy, Pope Gregory. Now, I know some of you are already going off the reservation. Does he have that big pointy hat on because he's got a big pointy cone head? I don't know if he had a cone head. I don't care if he had a cone head. This is not about whether or not Pope Gregory had a cone head. So reel it in, reel it in. But this is Pope Gregory, and he's the one that created, he's the one that said, we're going to have a new calendar. And right away, ladies and gentlemen, it bothers me to have the head of a church telling us we're going to have a new calendar. Why would the head of a church be able to tell us we're going to have a new calendar? But that's him. That's Pope Gregory. And he's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Gregorian calendar today. Did you know that? Did you know that's why it's called the Gregorian calendar? Now, second interesting thing to me, not only is it named after a pope, what the hell does a pope know about calendars anyway, right? Named after the pope, and he introduced it in October, which will prove interesting, of 1582. 1582. Let me look at something. I wrote down a wrong date, and I want to look at it and make sure that I that I get the right date to you. Copernicus discovers heliocentric model. When did he do that? Year? What year? I think it was 1483. How good is my memory? 1543. So Copernicus develops his heliocentric model in, what was it, 1543? Ladies and gentlemen, I just forgot that number that I quoted. But he discovered it a very, very short time before the Pope decided to make his work the basis of a brand new calendar. I mean, it was like 40 years. So do you realize they got a calendar for almost 1,600 years? And then some guy comes up with an idea, with a plan, with a model. And within 40, 50 years, they decide, based on this guy's work, let's go ahead and change the entire way we look at time, the entire way we mark time. Let's go ahead and change it. About 50 years after something got discovered. That bothers me, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't have a long enough time to vet his findings. They didn't have long enough time to see if he was right. All of a sudden, this guy comes up with a theory, and boom, now in 1582, October 1582, we've got Pope Gregory making Copernicus's model that he came up with in 1483, and it's 1582, or was it 1543? I think it was 1543. Sorry, 1543. So it's less than, what is that? Math majors, help me out. Let's just say it was 83 and he did in 43. That would be 40 years. So yeah, it's less than 50 years. It's like 40 years. Wow. To me, Pope making it up on a 40-year-old discovery. And listen to this. The Gregorian calendar, the calendar spaces leap years, which reminds me of a leap of faith, to make the average year 365.2425 days long, approximating, not even exactly, they're not even exactly right. They're approximating the 365.2422 day tropical year that is determined by the Earth's revolution around the sun. Did you hear what I said, ladies and gentlemen? They changed the calendar in 1582 based upon a discovery in 1483 that said that the Earth revolves around the sun. And that was discovered by a guy named Copernicus, Nicholas Copernicus, ladies and gentlemen. Nicholas Copernicus, we'll get you a look at his pretty mug right here. This is Nicholas Copernicus. So he discovers, or he didn't really, he decides, I guess we could say he discovered that the Earth goes around the sun in 1483 or something like that. And by 1582, anyway, you know the dates. I keep messing them up. But within 40 years after he figures it out, allegedly, they've changed all of time in history based on his so-called discovery. That makes my head hurt to think about that. That makes my head hurt to think that they would do that so quickly, so easily, so brazenly. And it's not like it was a mathematician that decided to do it. It was a pope. That makes my head hurt. I'm so glad I've got my Mystech bracelets on, because if I didn't have my Mystech bracelets on right now, I think I'd be into full-blown migraine mode because it just doesn't make any sense. But the Mystech bracelets, they put me at the original Schumann resonance and keep me there. The original Schumann resonance of this planet put me in harmony with my mother, which, believe me, is a miracle in itself. And then they also put my cells in chaos. And I've shown you the blood work on the channel. It's amazing what they do. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com. Click on the Mystech logo. Click on the Mystech link. You get 20% off when you order through jeffreydaugherty.com. So go ahead and do that. But it really does make my head hurt to think about this. Pope Gregory, 1582, they approximate the Earth's revolution around the sun. So they decided the Earth is going around the sun, and they decided to make a calendar based on it. So in 1582, again, with 16th century technology, the Catholic Church, not mathematicians, decide that the Earth takes an average of 365.2422 days to go around the sun. Now, my first question is, they did this in 1582. Do you think it's possible that measuring technology, astronomy, astrology, math might have improved since 1582? Is it possible that the technology used to measure these things that Copernicus said he discovered, shouldn't the technology have improved since 1582? But the calendar hasn't changed, which makes me think that Copernicus and his heliocentric model are more a proclamation of faith than they are a scientific reality. Think of anything in science: 1582, 1682, 1782, 1982, 1992, almost 500 years. Almost 500 years. And there's been no improvement in the measuring technology in 500 years. This dude got it right 500 years ago using the equivalent of clubs and bearskins. And with all of our massive technology today, we can't improve on what funny haircut guy did in 1582. Because obviously the calendar hasn't changed, so he must have got it right. Boy, that bothers me. That really is hard for me to wrap my head around, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard for me. And, you know, I could buy and did buy for a long time that the Earth is going around the sun. And it's going around the sun, and it's going around the sun at a constant speed. That I could get. But when they told me, and NASA has recently admitted that the Earth does not go around the sun at a constant speed, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that the Earth does not go around the sun at a constant speed? The Earth, they tell us, speeds up. The Earth, they tell us, slows down. And if you notice, this isn't a circle, it's an ellipse. And this shows all the different ways it looks as it goes around the sun. But they're telling me it speeds up and it slows down. Now, I want you to do something, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to do an experiment. And you better do it on a hardwood floor or on a concrete floor. Better yet, go outside and do it. Because if you do it on the carpeting, your wife, or if you're a Christian YouTuber, your grandma whose basement you're living in is going to be mad at you when you spill whatever's that coffee all over her rug. Because I want you to walk in an ellipse like this. Pretend that you're, if you're a Christian YouTuber, pretend that your He-Man lunchbox is the sun. Put it right in the middle of the room and walk around it in an ellipse. Just walk around it. Walk around at a constant speed. No problemo, right? Now start speeding up and slowing down as you're walking with that coffee, what's gonna happen? Now, if you notice this earth right here, 70% of it's covered by water. That means 30% of it is surrounded by water. Basically, it's a bunch of water with a few islands on it. And if it's speeding up and slowing down, and this water is reacting to the speeding up and slowing down, we're all dead. We're all dead. This bothers me. This bothers me. If I can't walk around with a coffee cup in grandma's basement, speed up and slow down a little bit and not have it spill everywhere, then how can the earth be going around the sun at Mach whatever, speeding up and slowing down? I don't get it. I'm not saying it's flat. I'm not saying it's round. I'm just saying I don't get how it can speed up and slow down when it's going around the sun, because if it did, we'd all be dead. We'd all be dead. But our calendar, our history since 1582 is based on this idea. And here's how it happened, folks. Here's how it happened. In 1582, everybody went to sleep on the 4th of October. They woke up in the morning and it was the 15th of October. Why? Because Pope Gregory said so. Think about that. In 1582, they went to bed on October 4th. And when they got up in the morning, it was October 15th. And yet they tell us that there was no discontinuity in the Anno Domini calendar. So you're telling me that a calendar that had been going on for 1,582 years gets switched to a whole different calendar, and they just magically add 11 days and nothing gets into discontinuity. I know they changed it because the leap years are messing things up, but it just sounds fishy to me. You got pointy head guy making a new calendar based on what bad haircut guy said about the earth going around the earth, speeding up and slowing down. Call me skeptical, ladies and gentlemen. Call me skeptical. And you know, the main reason was, well, because we want to approximate the earth's revolution around the sun. And you know what the second reason was? Because they also were concerned that they needed to get the cycle back on so the church's date for calculating Easter would be restored to the time of the year as was originally celebrated by the church. The Pope, an ecclesiastical leader, and of course the leader of the governments too, for all intents and purposes, decides to make a new calendar because some guy with a bad haircut said the earth goes around the sun, and also because they wanted to make their date for Easter, the one they originally picked, work. So the Gregorian calendar that we have now was based about Easter and the earth going around the sun. I don't believe in one of those. And I'm having a hard time believing in the other one anymore. Of course, we don't believe anymore because in the middle of whenever we believe what's right in the middle of it, whenever we believe what's right in the middle of it. Yeah. But I know one's fake, and I'm getting pretty close to knowing the other one's fake. Our calendar, ladies and gentlemen, time, history itself since 1582 changed for what? For the Easter Bunny and for the earth going around the sun. And it's not like it happened overnight, because the Pope, he was in charge of a lot of stuff, but he wasn't in charge of everything by that time. Over the next 3 centuries, that's 300 years for you Christians, The Protestant and the Eastern Orthodox countries also moved to what was then called the improved calendar. And Greece was the last country to adopt the calendar in 1923, ladies and gentlemen. The improved calendar. That reminds me of the improved lifestyle that you'll have if you go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the fluffy logo that's focused to life force energy, and try the 15-day trial on your phone. Try the 15-day trial on your home. You don't have to give a credit card number, and they will beam a high level field of Dawkins type consciousness to your location so you can move and exist in a higher and better, more nurturing environment. It makes a tremendous difference in my life. I invite you to try it. Again, it's free 99. That's free for 15 days on your phone, free for 15 days at your home as well. And at the end of 30 days, if you want it, I can't remember exactly how it is. It's less than $40. You waste more than that at Starbeezy every single month. So by 1923, all of the countries had accepted what was called the improved calendar. Improved in whose mind, I don't know. And how did it get to be that way? Well, we're told that due to globalization in the 20th century, the calendar's been adopted by most non-Western countries for civil purposes. I can't help but notice that it's due to globalization that we got the calendar in the first place. And it's due to globalization that the calendar has been adopted by most Western countries for civil purposes. And what has got the calendar adopted? The work of the Catholic Church, the educators of the Catholic Church. The Gregorian calendar is the most widely used calendar in the world today. For decades, it's been the unofficial global standard, adopted in the pragmatic interest of international communication, transportation, commercial integration, and recognized by the United Nations. Now, don't you feel better that your calendar is recognized by the United Nations? And don't you feel better that the Catholic Church has succeeded in educating us all to accept it without asking any questions? And do you remember who in the Catholic Church does the edumacating? A little group called the Jesuits. This could really, for all intents and purposes, be called the Jesuit calendar that we're still keeping. Does that make anybody else besides me rather uneasy? Does that make anyone else other than me rather uneasy? To me, that's enough to throw up my hands and say, forget it. I'm not going to honor this calendar. But wait, there's more. And this is a little speculative, but it's a result of a lot of research that I've done. And I think it is textually, empirically, objectively sound research. What do you think? I find compelling evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that they not only made October 5th into October 15th by adding a 1. Notice that. If you get up on what's supposed to be October 5th, you go to bed on October 4th, and you wake up on October 14th, or you go to bed on October 4th, you wake up on October 15th. So what did they do? It was supposed to be October the 5th, right? What did they do? They added a 1. I find compelling evidence that not only did they add a 1 to the day to turn October 5 into October 15th, but they also, by adding the same kind of 1, by adding a 1 again, they also made 582 into 1582. But they didn't want to tell me, they didn't want to tell you. Now I just have. Not only did October 5 become October 15, the year 582 became the year 1582. And I'm going to show you why. And interestingly enough, it happened in October. Why did he pick October and not September, not November, not June, not July? Why did he pick October? Well, October is the 10th month. A 10 numerically is a 1 plus a 0 equals a 1. What better month to add a 1 than the number that sums out, the month that sums out to 1, a number that sums out to 1. 5 into 15, 582 into 1582 in the 1 month. And oh, by the way, in Catholic Church tradition, October is the month of the Holy Rosary. If you're a pope and you're trying to exude your authority, remind everybody of your authority, what better thing to do than change the calendar? What better time to do it during the month of the Holy Rosary? I'm pretty good at this, aren't I? In fact, I'm the best in the world at what I do. I'm the only one in the world that does what I do. And with apologies to Chris Jericho, who at this very moment is in Tokyo, not to visit Sterling, but to have a great big wrestling match. I am le champion of biblical interpretation and spiritual revelation. That's right. I said it. But wait, there's even more. Why did Pope Gregory pick 1582? Why? Well, he picked that because of what happened in occult history. What does occult mean? Occult means hidden. You mean there's hidden history? Yeah, most of it. So let me give you a little occult history. Let me give you a little hidden history, ladies and gentlemen. And this hidden history involves this not so handsome young man, but anyway, he was in charge of everything. So he gets to be called handsome. And this guy is a little guy that we like to call the Emperor Domitian. And Domitian was the last of the Flavian emperors. Domitian followed his brother Titus, who followed their father Vespasian. And a little Domitian here. Domitian was made emperor in the year 81, but he had a hard time convincing people to accept him. He had a hard time. He had to consolidate his reign. So it took him a minute. Even though he took power in 81, it wasn't until 82 that he was good and solid and in his reign and able to do Caesar-like stuff. So in 82, the Flavian Emperor Domitian made 82 year 1. He's in charge. He's the emperor. He made 82 year 1. It's year 1. Why? Because I'm the emperor. I'm, what is it called? Pontifex Maximus. And I say it's year 1. So it's year 1. And this is why there's a historical oddity that Domitian called himself the first and the last Flavian emperor when he clearly wasn't the first, because Vespasian was first, his brother was second, and then Domitian was third, but he always called himself the first and the last. And have you heard that somewhere before? I am the first, I am the last. He called himself the first and the last Flavian emperor. Came to power in 81, solidified it, consolidated it. In 82, he proclaimed 82 as year 1 of the new Roman Empire. And this was, in his view, the beginning of the 1,000-year reign of Rome mentioned in Revelation 20. So because of this reset, he really was the first and the last Flavian emperor, because he started everything new. And that 1,000-year reign is the 1,000-year reign spoken of in Revelation 20, because guess what, folks? I'm about to show you, not tonight, but in the days and weeks and months to come, that the book of Revelation, I've told you that it's history, it's not future, and I'm right, and you know I'm right because I've proven it to be right. But not only is the book of Revelation not future. Not only is the book of Revelation history, the book of Revelation is mainly about Domitian. That's right. And I'll prove it to you beyond the shadow of an empirical objective doubt. So this is why, because Domitian made 82 year one, this is why Pope Gregory picked 582, 1582, to be the year that he changed the calendar. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But right now, I want to tell you folks about my great friends at The Rocket. Male sexuality is under attack. Our very feelings of being men and being women are under attack by attacking the ability of men to get and maintain erections and women to be doing what you guys do when that happens. So instead of just saying, we surrender, we'll surrender to the low fertility, we'll surrender to an explosion of what's that called when you can't get what you want? It's called erectile dysfunction. We're gonna surrender to that, or we're gonna stuff a bunch of drugs down our faces that'll probably kill us, but at least we'll die with a heart on. No, we're going to fight back, because the Rocket takes technology out of the clinic that costs you $500 a treatment, brings it to your house for a fraction of the cost, and it'll break up the plaque in the penis so that you can get and maintain longer, powerful, stronger erections. It stimulates new capillary growth. Jeff, why do you care if a guy can get a boner or not? Because a man that can't get a boner doesn't feel like a man. And a woman that has a man that can't get a boner doesn't feel like a woman. And a woman that can't find no men that can get boners doesn't feel like a woman. It screws everything up, and not in a good way. That's why we're proud to be sponsors of The Rocket. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Rocket logo, and I keep checking every day. The 57% off trial is still available. Don't know if it will be tomorrow, but it is today. So why did Pope Gregory pick 582 to make his change to 1582? Because he understood that the 1,000-year reign of Rome began in 82. And he was 500 years into that reign when Pope Gregory added the extra 1,000 years. So Gregory knew about Domitian's change of 82 into year one. So Pope Gregory said, let's kick it all back up again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's add 1,000 years. And by the way, he just happened to be in the throes of the Protestant Reformation, did Pope Gregory. And what better way to reassert Roman dominance than to demonstrate mastery over time itself? Change the calendar in the month of the Holy Rosary in the celebration of 500 years of Roman rule and the promise of 500 more. And because he changed time, that's one of the main reasons, one of the big planks of the Protestant Reformation was the Pope was the Antichrist. Because when Pope Gregory changed time, the Protestant reformers automatically tied him to Daniel, who prophesied that the Antichrist would think to change time itself. But why not just make it 1500 instead of 1582? Round it off. Because Gregory was aware of what Domitian had done, and he honored it as an act of Pontifex Maximus. And this is why you come here, is for little factoids like this. And because if he wiped out 82 years and made 82 years happen again, that would have had very negative financial impact on the huge number of crypto-Jewish Jesuits, because it would have created an additional Jubilee period where they had to cancel debts. I don't miss anything, ladies and gentlemen. I think it all through, and then I bring the information to you, and you can decide if you want to drink. You can decide if you want to think. I bring you to the water. I bring you to the objective information, but I don't make you drink. and I can't make you think. So in the real world, we're in the year 1020 in the real world. Rome's reign supposedly goes in real world terms to 1082. So we're about 62 years from the end of Rome's reign, which coincidentally equals 8, which is the meaning of October, the month when the change that we just uncovered was perpetrated upon us. They're running out of time. That's why they're so worried about the end times. And anybody and everybody, let me say that again, anybody and everybody that you hear that's worried about the end times, they're worried about the end times because they're connected to this paradigm of time running out. They're connected to this Jesuit Roman paradigm. I don't care if they say they're Roman Protestants. I don't care if they say they're Roman Catholics. I don't care if they say they're just roaming around aimlessly. Christians who say they're not, but still want the blood. Anyone and everyone that's talking about prophecy, anyone and everyone that's talking about raptures and second comings and heifers and temples and tribulations and chopping heads and marks of the beast, just know when you hear it, it's Jesuit panic fear porn. Their time is running out. We got nothing but time. Their time is running out, but as for us, time, it's on our side. Oh, yes, it is. We don't worry because time is on our side. Yes, it is. I don't care if they're Roman Catholic and they're worrying about the end times. It's Jesuit propaganda. I don't care if they're Christian. I don't care if they're your favorite YouTuber. I don't care if he is. I don't care if she is. If they're talking about end times and they're worried about it collapse and it's all going to, oh my God, it's Jesuit. Because they're the one who are hearing tick tock, tick tock. Not us, cousins. I won't sing again, but time is on our side. Yes, it is. They're running out of time. They're running out of energy, and they need our energy. As I look to the whiteboard, they need our energy to fulfill their prophecy. But guess what? This is what's happening because we're not giving it anymore, and their world is melting around them. They're out of time. They're out of energy. We're not giving ours up anymore, so we're getting stronger and we're going to last longer. We will watch as their world crumbles and we will laugh. We're going to watch as their world melts like the witch. I missed it. Oh, and we're going to just be happy and click our ruby slippers and say there's no place like home as we get ready to leave them alone, go where we want to go, do what we want to do, and be what we want to be, because we are divine, we are sovereign, we are free, we are winners, they are losers, their paradigm is done, and ours, ladies and gentlemen, has just begun. And that's the way it is. And let me tell you something I'm excited about right now. Hero Soap. If you go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the Hero Soap logo, they've got a special right now. We got troops deployed overseas. If you sign up for a subscription of Hero Soap, they'll send you soap every month. You get a total of 20% off the cost of your soap. And for every subscription that comes through the Christian Whistleblower channel, they're going to give a U.S. service person overseas a free subscription to soap. Isn't that cool? That's why I work with the folks at Freedom Soap, or Hero Soap. Let freedom ring. What a nice way to end a podcast. And let's go ahead and go into the chat room and see what you, the most important people in this thing, have to say. And it's getting hot. Is it me or is it hot in here? Probably both. But anyway, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'll hit the best. Somebody's anticipating the Christian whistleblower calendar. That'll be a long wait because um, this guy knows he's not smart enough to make a calendar. So don't expect a calendar coming from me. Not going to happen. Let's see. Supposedly the Mayan calendar is still the most accurate. I'd like to see some data on that, but hey, that's all right. He thought it up, says Tracy Dyer, because it probably doesn't go around the sun. But even if it's not, all I'm saying is it's not a scientific empirical thing. If it can't be improved by improved technology over 600 years, it's a faith. It's a belief. It's something they don't know the earth goes around the sun. They believe it goes around the sun. And what's in the middle of, what are you in the middle of every time you believe? I'm just saying. Better leave that handy. I might need that again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what else we got going here? The church controls science. I wonder if it still controls science or if science become its own church. That's interesting. Jesuits control science. Emerald Eagle, in a very real sense, Jesuits probably do control science because Jesuits have a wildly disproportionate share of educational institutions in the United States. A lot of the, right from the kindergarten on up through the highest collegiate levels. Our own Tracy Dyer, graduate of a Jesuit college. Doesn't make her a Jesuit. It's just pointing out the fact that the Jesuits have a disproportionately large share of education and influence in this world. So if you're going to be a scientist, you got to go to college. If you're going to college for science, you're probably going to spend some time at a Jesuit college. You're probably going to go to a Jesuit college. Let's see. What else we got here? They follow a solar calendar. The Jews used a lunar calendar. Yes and no. Yeah, that's true. That doesn't mean that the Jews' calendar was right or pure or holy. It just was what it was. Let's see. That was around the time they made the Jesus character, 82. It was very, very good. Who is that? Joel Chandler. Great catch. Oh, man. The earth is going around the sun, revolving around the sun, and they make a religion revolving around the sun. Of course, they changed the U to an O. Jesus was created almost to the, you know what? Jesus might have been, the Jesus character might have been created in 82. Destruction of Jerusalem was 70. We'll have to ask Joe Atwell, but I'll bet that the Jesus character was, wouldn't that be something if he was actually created in 82? He might well have been created in 82. Let's do something fun right now. Let's go to my Facebook. I probably won't show you this, but I'm going to send Joe Atwell a Facebook message. Where is Joe? He's in my list because we just talked. I'm going to send Joe Atwell a Facebook message, and I'm going to ask him, I'm going to say, Joe, what year would you guess that the Jesus character was created? Wow. I don't think he'll answer us on this show, but Joe, come on, spell Joe. How do you misspell Joe? Joe, what year would you guess the Jesus character was created? That's going to be an interesting email to get a response back to. But what if it was 82, ladies and gentlemen? It could have well been 82. It could have well been 82. Joel Chandler, great questions. Gnostic syncretists with a funny joke, but I won't say it out loud. TT likes it. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. And oh, yeah, as Nigel points out, the moon is now within the Earth's atmosphere, according to NASA. They admit it. They admit it. Colleen Burke Shat says, you just made a great point, Jeff. Thank you, Colleen, but I make so many, I can't keep track of which one you are referring to. I make so many good points. I have no way of knowing which great point you are referring to, but I will accept praise and thanks for any of the great points that I make. So thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Look at bobblehead mathematicians of today. Oh, I like that. Could the Earth be a donut? Dude, who knows, right? Who knows? Bill Nye, the science guy, Emerald Eagle, he's 100% right on that. Let's see. Going back over your Elohim and Yahweh videos from 2014 to 17, and you've made an amazing all-over transformation. You look better and are speaking better, says KC. Why, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of fun. And we're just getting started in more ways than one. Let's see. Harry Christie says, if an ellipse, it has an aphelion and a perihelion, and it speeds and slows, but not. What? If it speeds up and slows down, then it speeds up and slows down. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, which is possible. Let's agree to disagree that the Earth does not spin. Dude, I don't know if the damn thing spins or not, but it's weird. Is it Friday today? I don't ever know what day it is. It is Friday today. It is Friday today. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Is math involved with science? Asked Lucky Stone. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. Flat in a bowl, tub, pool, cup, pan, skillet. Flat, 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 says Jama. Do you know that 70% of the Earth is covered with water, and water always finds its level? If 70% of Earth is level, then that proves that it's round. I don't know, man. I'm asking questions and I'm questioning answers. I'm asking questions. Pork Chop Gang says, JD, Mr. Skeptical. Of course I'm skeptical. I am a contrarian. Somebody called me, oh, you're just a contrarian. And I looked up the word contrarian. You know what it means? Someone that is against the dominant paradigm. Of course I'm a contrarian. You're either, in this day and age, you're either a contrarian or an idiot. Did I just call somebody an idiot? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I did. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What else we got here? They lie and they make up more lies for that lie. Yes, they do. What else we got? For those of you from Rio Linda, yeah, I should probably find another way than Christian, because not every Christian's dumb. I don't think. Oh, Nigel with the great conspiracy theory that I don't think that Matt and I talked about this on the air today, but maybe we did. Was airship travel destroyed? Was the Hindenburg a false flag to keep us from economically and easily and efficiently flying all over the damn place and learning what we're really living on? That's some good stuff right there. The sponsor clock is flashing at me, but I'm out of sponsors. I got a couple more coming, and I don't know what I'm going to do because these things are so good, man. They're so good. But anyway, bunny worship, that's important. Bunny worship. Casey, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thanks for the $1.99. That's amazing. So, like, well, what do you say? Why are you so happy about $1.99? Do you imagine there's over 40,000 subscribers? And if every one of them gave $1.99, I'd be like Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! My wooer's a little wore out from yelling and beating Cynthia because she turned on the microwave and caused the breaker to blow, and we went off the air today during our show. I didn't really beat her, and I didn't really yell, but she did put something in the microwave. And how many times have I talked about a microwave, ladies and gentlemen? She just heats up her coffee in it, and it blew the fuse, and that's what happened. So, but it was a growth and a learning moment for all of us, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what relationships are about: growth and learning, and being able to take a really cool jab every now and then. But not really. It's a namaste kind of thing, ladies and gentlemen. You understand. You understand. Why does the UN use a flat earth map in their flag? That's a good question. And the current Pope is a Jesuit. Very, very. This is a smart group. Emerald Eagle. He's on a roll tonight. Call him Butter because he's on a roll. Absolutely. And the people had no say in the change? Of course not. October means 8. Right. That's why, my last brilliant point. Listen, we love your information. Thank you, Queen Holly. Appreciate it. Stars are maybe very close and not billions and billions of miles away. That's what some people think. And it's interesting. It really is. It's interesting. Jalen Palmer says, going deep, homeboy. That means he's from the Tinfoil Hat podcast. Boom. And I need to contact their web guy because he has a question. I keep putting it off, but I'm going to call him. What else we got? Handsome dude to maybe one person. Oh, I don't know who was the handsome dude. Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79. That's interesting because there's a whole nother thing here that I haven't quite got to yet. Haven't quite brought it to you yet. The Romans were in constant contact with what they interpreted to be extraterrestrial beings. And I mean constantly. And we to this day can't figure out how come Roman concrete is so damn good. Did they have some extra human assistance on their concrete, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. Shut up. Was the Roman ice cream parlors back then called 31 Flavian? Shut up. That's funny. Henry Brown, nice to see you. We in the Demiurge, how do we get out of the repeat cycle? We're working on it right now. We're getting out of the repeat cycle right now. And I think Mazdan's right. You better check your facts on that one with Vesuvius because it's on the whiteboard of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Boners or bonus. Well, boners are bonuses, so that's a little bit redundant. Jameis says it's 10:20. I agree with her. Happy 10:20, ladies and gentlemen. The Catholic Church is the Antichrist. Yep, changing times and seasons. Absolutely. Jeff, I think you're in the living room of the rabbit hole now. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Time doesn't exist anyway. It's just a measure of magnitude. That's how the emperors could play with it like a tinker toy. Good point, Runaway Train. Time's only real for those that believe it is. That's really good. Jeff, please, you have a job. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Stronger and lasting longer. Casey, look, just because you're having problems doesn't mean that you should come against people that want to fix, that are big enough to admit they're having problems and are willing to fix them. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move right on. That was Ric Flair's brother George that can't do the woo because his voice is a little bit out of sort today. Jeff, I'm a 40-year hairdresser and your hair is a changing. It is. It's getting darker from the C. That we forgot about C60 Purple Power. Go to c60purplepower.com, put in the code TCW, like the Christian Whistleblower 10, the number 10, and you'll get 10% off. And this is making my hair change darker. I don't use reading glasses anymore. It's cleaning out my body. Is that better, Tracy? It's cleaning out my body, and I'm feeling great. Try it. You'll like it. ladies and gentlemen. I saw that Pope slap that woman. I slapped her right in the face, but that's probably why I'm not Pope. We got to the bottom of the chat already. Dye my tips purple. Dye your tips purple. I don't know if I'd be allowed in the house if I dyed my tips purple, Rose. I really don't know if I would. And I don't know if I could, I'm kind of a metrosexual guy, but I don't know if I could rock the purple tips or not. But you never know if you don't try, right? You never know if you don't try. Was President Trump talking about the flat earth before he was elected? I missed that one. RVS mentions freedom soap, hero soap, let freedom clean. Melly Holmes says it's all light and energy, magnetics and alchemy. And it really is. And the thing I wonder about, and again, we've said this before, he is not a SJW to dye his hair purple. What's an SJW? I'm not sure what that is, but I'm just thinking about, and if 82 went back to year one, then it should be 1020 plus 81, which is 1101, which means that, yeah, but the 80, the 1,000 didn't start until 82. But what's Nigel saying? If year 82 went back to year one, they just made 82 year one. It didn't really go back, of course. If they made 82 year one, then we should be in 1020 plus 81, which is 1101. We should be in 1020 plus 81, which is 1101. And the Romans' time was supposed to run out in 1062, right? Ooh, maybe they're really sweating. And of course, when you're dealing with time, it's, somewhat debatable. Yeah, that's really good stuff. That's really good stuff. I like that. Jesus may have been a symbol for the sun. Excellent, Melly. That is absolutely true. It was 82. Oh, that's right, 82. They made it 82, right. Well, they made it, yeah, that made it. Anyway, I'm not into math, but it's a lot of math. I think they made it year one. I think he proclaimed it year one, Tracy. I really do. But anyway, we can't prove any of that. It's really good stuff. But I can't help but think, ladies and gentlemen, that me and math and I, whatever. I can't help but think that the sudden emphasis on extraterrestrials and the sudden mainstream media approved emphasis on extraterrestrials is because so many of us are waking up to the fact that where we are is not what they've told us it is. So they don't want us to begin to search our oceans. They don't want us to begin to search the land that we know of. They don't want us to begin to search under the land that we know of. And they don't want us to begin to look for land further beyond what we know of. I think Jesus is Jesus, Lucifer. Remember, you're arguing about Pluto and Goofy. The point is, they're all characters. They're made up. They're not real. So what don't they want us to find, ladies and gentlemen? What don't they want us to find? That's my question. But Jeff, there really are ETs coming. Is there? Are there? All we know is that there's beings coming. How do you know they're not interterrestrials? Not extraterrestrials. How do you know they're not from that place where Admiral Byrd saw? Beyond. How do you know? How do you know they're not from out of the ocean? How do you know they're not from under the ground? How do you know they're not from our past or our future? How do you know? But why do we assume they're extraterrestrial? I think Occam's razor would say that the simplest answer is they're from here. That eliminates all the problems. But nobody wants us to think about them being from here. Nobody wants us to talk about them being from here. Why? Why? Because They don't want us to figure out that the whole thing is a lie. It's a travesty. It's a sham. It's a mockery. It's a Travis shamockery, ladies and gentlemen. And they want us right in the middle of it. And instead, we are busting it out. We are, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, you look at NASA's picture of Pluto, and you can see the Disney character in the planet. They're laughing in your face. They're laughing in your face. You know, I've gone out with some people that were liars. And, you know, you catch them in their first lie and you say, oh, well, you know, they just lied and I'll forgive them. And then a funny thing's happen. A liar's going to lie to you again. And once you catch somebody in a lie, you probably pretty much know that they're a liar. Once somebody shows you who they are, it's best to just believe them. And NASA's shown us that they lie. Pick your lie that NASA has shown you they lie. And I know your dad and your mom and your brother and your grandpappy and your sister's grandpappy twice removed made the rivets that went on the urinal of the space shuttle. And I'm sorry I shouldn't have said it that way, but you know what I'm saying. I know that there's a lot of good people that work at NASA and they probably make real things, but it's part of the plan to get everybody thinking, oh, well, NASA's got to be good because my granddaddy worked there. It's a sham. It's a travesty. It's a mockery. It's a Travis shamockery. They lied. We know they've lied, and they're going to keep lying. And we're supposed to be looking for truth, not making excuse and overlooking lies. Jason Stewart makes a point that many people will make. Is the government blocking truth to prevent chaos? Well, I know that there are some that think that the government wants to protect us from ourselves. Oh, if we told them the truth, they would riot. Do you see what those idiots are doing in the House of Representatives? If that's not causing a riot, if those lies and that stupidity and that criminal behavior is not causing a riot, I'm pretty sure that letting the truth out isn't going to cause a riot either. It's a real convenient excuse to say, oh, we want to maintain control and our big money stuff in our pockets so we don't cause a riot. Not anything against your statement, Jason Stewart, but no, I say baloney to that. Baloney to that. White Eagle Hodges says there's an old map that shows 2 outer worlds beyond Antarctica with details. That's interesting. That is interesting. My aunt was a 0 lady on the countdown. Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting. If we resonate higher, maybe they will come, the inner earthers. Maybe we don't want them to come. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe they're coming to chew bubble gum and kick ass and they're all out of bubble gum. We've been messing their stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. Most of the oceans are undiscovered. Why aren't we checking out our oceans instead of trying to get to Uranus? I had to say it. I had to say it. And I am going to remove the Corey Good, David Wilcock reference because that's just not, how would President Trump say it? Not good. But anyway, I think they're already here. Says, I am Monica. She may be right. Thank you, Jama. Jason's not a fan of government. Neither am I. Or are they messing up our stuff? Well, we're the ones that's polluting the oceans. We're the ones that's fracking under the earth. So my money's on us messing up stuff. That's just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Compartmentalization, says Harry Christie, keeps all NASA separated and beliving the fake space. Well, folks, we're over an hour. I'm thankful we got a lot of people here. You can hear when I tried to do the Ric Flair that my voice is getting a little strained from today. Runaway Train says, no one on earth that I know of does what Jeff does. I try to tell you, I'm the only one in the world that does what I do. I am le champion of biblical interpretation and spiritual revelation. Tracy says she doesn't think it's fracking that's causing the issues. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Fracking, she says, Tracy Dyer, is an excuse to cover our DUMBs, our deep underground military, places. I don't know what the B and the S stand for, but they are BS. That's funny. So yeah, so Tracy's saying there's really not fracking going on. They're just building those DUMBs down there. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Cynthia's a lucky woman. There's monsters in the ocean. There might be. Bases, deep underground military bases. Then what's the S for? Deep underground military base system? That must be what it is. Oh, we don't mention the M word anymore, RVS. We're beyond that. Deep underground military bases. Deep underground military DUMB. Okay, deep underground military bases. I got it. Underground superhighways. They lie about everything. Multiple ones. There's lots of Brooks in here. Mawson says, what's up, cousin? Deep underground military base system. There's got to be something for the S. I can't let it just be attached to the B. It's got to be separate. No, there's tons of frackings going on. Watch Dutch Sense. Well, that's what we're here about. A lot of opinions. And maybe there is fracking, but it still could be. There could still be fracking, and it'd still be a cover for the construction of DUMBs. Nancy, good night. We appreciate you. So long. All right, folks. I don't know. DUMBs is plural. How do you know it's plural? I don't see an apostrophe. White Eagle says there is, or Tracy says to White Eagle, there is fracking, but it's not the cause of earthquakes. Okay. The S is a pluralization of dumb. Okay. I get it. I'll accept it. All right, folks. Tomorrow's Saturday. I got a feeling there's going to be some podcast excellence going on tomorrow. And I don't really have a feeling of what that podcast excellence is going to be about, but man, we've got some great stuff going on. And thank you for all the grammar Nazis in the chat room. Don't even get me started about spelling and vocabulary. I'm a professional communicator. Don't make me remind you I've written 14 books. Anyway, that's funny. All right, folks, we will be doing some podcast excellence tomorrow. We appreciate it very much. It's been a great day. It's been a great week. Everybody, Jeff, you shouldn't be talking about what you're talking about. Listen, we talk about everything. Thanks to David Weiss. Thanks to Matt Long for being on the channel. We had a good week and things are good and getting better. This world is not bad and getting worse. Things are good and getting better. And you are not filled with original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. You're divine, you're sovereign, and you're free. And it's time for you to get busy unindoctrinating yourself. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, the only one in the world that does what I do. And we do it to bring you the information you need to unindoctrinate yourself and build the life that you'll love. Until next time, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Wishing you the best and thanking you for being here, seeking after truth.